Okay. How we going, YouTube? Now hopefully this one won't be that long, but in saying so, I'm gonna try and explain some certain things, so like load times, that sort of shit. But co-op and performance and stuff on the console. I think I've played enough now, and I played a little bit of co-op that I can reference on what the performance is like. If you're going to jump into one of these ones here, because this is the start menu, you can jump into any of the others that isn't custom. It should be relatively, in brackets, relatively okay. But if you go to custom, this is my recommendation if you're playing on the consoles, is open up the custom, and you've got your predetermined starts, which are like the other ones. The less stuff that's on screen, the less like moving stuff, animated, updating stuff, the better. So Earth Planet is the one that is the other world I was playing on. Then you got things like Home System, stuff. Lone Survivor is probably my most recommended one. But if you look at the bottom, it's got Select, Advanced, Mods, Start and Back. Mods, it comes up, there is no mods yet. So I'm assuming they're going to add mods. Off to the right, up higher up, there's the name, description, game mode, online mode, max players and autosave. Now, the autosave, I don't know whether that's what's causing the freeze-ups. The maximum players, if you're playing an online mode, you can set whether you want 4 friends to be allowed in the game or only 2. So it's you and 3 others at 4. 3 is you and 2 others. 2 is you and 1 other, so on and so forth. I played with a friend on a PS5, and I'm on a PS4. He had to download the PS4 version to play with me. He could not play using the PS5 version. So if you've got 2 different generations, you have to play on the lowest denominator version to be able to play with each other. If that explanation makes sense. So if you've got friends that are playing on PS4, you need the PS4 version. If you're on a PS5 and you're running a PS5 version, your PS4 friends cannot join that game. So if I go advanced, the friend on the PS5 joined my game. I crashed once, so my PlayStation 4 crashed once, and his PlayStation 5 crashed twice. Now, whether me crashing caused one of his crashes, I do not know. It's Sony, man. We don't know. For all we know, Sony just crashes on its own anyway. But that was in somewhere between half an hour to an hour PlayStation. I crashed once, and I was the host. He crashed twice. He crashed just after I crashed. So it could have been because I crashed, kicked him out of the world, and that's caused the crash. And then he tried to rejoin, and it crashed again. So whether it's a connection thing that caused him to crash, or we don't know. We're not Sony, and we're not inept. So yeah, but the settings here, it's all like multipliers basically. So like how fast the refiner works and stuff like that. Now if you want to play super hardcore, put it realistic. If you want to play it super easy, jack it right up. The ones that I change are things like asteroid amount, go to none. World size, if you're crashing a lot or your performance is suffering, turn it down. Same with your view distance. If you're having issues, turn it down. So right now it's at 15 kilometers. So if I turn it down to 5 kilometers, as I said, it's for low-end machines. Now obviously this is set up for PC, but on the console, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One would be classified as a low-end PC. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X's can be classified as mid-range PCs. Because technically you wouldn't get a console that's a high-end PC, because you can spend $10,000 doing up your PC, and that's a high-end PC. A $500, $600 console is not going to compete with a $10,000 PC. Now, all this other stuff like enable sun rotation, day length, I don't think that matters so much, but these two here, if your performance is suffering, turn it down, like turn it right down. Max objects, again, I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I'm pretty sure that it's like if you drop your grinder, excuse me, or if you place a block and let it drop, you're allowed 16 of those before it starts deleting the older ones. So with the animals, 16 animals can spawn. If a 17th needs to spawn, it just goes no more are allowed. It either deletes an old one to place a new one, or it does not place a new one. Now, the ship sizes and stuff like that, again, if your performance is taking a hit, adjust that. Now, this one here, I'm not 1,000,000% sure. I don't know what this is on about, but I think it's talking about every single block you place in the world has a computing requirement, and it's talking about how many you're allowed. So it's kind of like the thermal in Dreams. So at the moment it's, what is that, 100,000? 1, 2, 3, yeah, 100,000. So I think it says you're allowed 100,000 blocks, and then the old ones are no longer used. But I don't know whether that means like computing blocks or just general blocks, because it doesn't say like PC use. Like they're talking about like the programmable blocks and like hinges and doors and stuff like that. They're talking about just blocks in general. Saves, auto heal, all your usual stuff. So there's a good amount of adjustability here. So I've turned down on this one here. I've turned down the view distance. Let's turn. Actually, I will leave that as it is. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to load a save. Let's continue the save I was on, so you can see the world that I was playing on that crashed with my friend in it. And you can see we're just playing around with the building, getting used to the controls and stuff like that. If you've played Minecraft or all those sort of games, you kind of expect it, because it's coming from a PC and their clicks are opposite. So if it says right click on PC, it's left click on console. So like on Minecraft, the left trigger does what your right button on your mouse does. So it's like inverted, and you know it's like that, but it's still a pain in the ass to get used to. This world I'm loading in now, if I look in that direction, I feel it. So this is my testing world. So I've been building, testing, that sort of stuff. Like, it's got the turrets. Now I'm assuming these turrets, because they're moving all the time, will cause lag. My friend was working on this. I was working on this little buggy thing, and the game crashed. Let's open that. Okay. Again, I wish the sticks, the triggers, or accelerate and brake, but whatever. So I was working on this. Excuse me. He was working on that, and I've got this one here, and they're not exactly small, and that one there. and then we've got the whole platform here. So this is kind of the amount of stuff that was happening, and we weren't crashing stuff into each other, we weren't blowing stuff up or none of that. We were just building, and it crashed. So that's kind of your limit before you start seeing things happen. Now I've turned down the render distance, so hopefully I'm just walking around to see if I can see any of the same sort of stuff I was getting before. No, it actually seems to be performing that little bit better. Now I'm assuming, like most games, if you're in third person, the performance will take that little bit extra hit because it's rendering your character. If you're in first, it doesn't have to render your character in. But in saying that, when you look down, you do see your body, which is correct. Just like in PC, your spaceman, spacewoman is customizable, color, style, stuff like that. All your blocks are paintable, editable and stuff like that. I kind of want to say, for those, because I had a couple of comments like asking, is it worth buying? Now, if you want to get it to do like you do on the PC and build massive ships, have fights and stuff like that, like cruise ship versus cruise ship type fight, maybe not so much on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Maybe on the PS5 and Xbox Series, but not so much on the current gens. The performance, the chance of it crashing would be higher. If you're going to be doing, in brackets, Minecraft sort of gameplay, survival, resource gathering, that kind of stuff, yeah, maybe. Now, I can't speak for every kind of player because I'm a certain kind of player. I am a creative, more actual survival, not wave survival. So I like to build a base, live off the land, gather my water, gather my food, get resources to build that sort of stuff. If you're the survival that wants wave after wave of people coming after you like Rust, I'm not that kind of player. I'm more PvE rather than PvP. It's not that I'm bad at PvP. I'm average at PvP. Well, there's a stutter. I'm average at PvP. Maybe slightly above average, but not in the average range. Maybe that is the save that's causing the freeze-ups. Because it just done the stutter, and then it saved. Okay. I don't see any sort of way in-game to then... it's going to do it for me. Like if I go to players, there's no way here to set once you've started it up. Oh yes there is. It wasn't yesterday. To change what the game world is like while in the world. So if you set it up as creative, it's creative. If you set it up as survival, it's survival. There is an option in here. So both the shoulder buttons, is it going to do it? It's not going to do it for me. Okay, why are you not doing that? There was an option in... Oh, I've got it turned off. I have it turned off now. But I was pushing the buttons and I was bringing up the admin panel basically. So if I come into here and go... There was an admin panel and it had the option to activate creative mode. Or creative build or whatever it was. So there might be a way, if you're playing in survival, to allow you to use creative building. But from what I can gather, if you start a world in survival, it's survival. If you start a world in creative, it's creative. There's no, like you can in Minecraft, build in creative, build a world, and then play it in survival. So the achievements or trophies and stuff like that that are earned by playing in survival, you have to play it in survival. There's no cheesing it. Another little freeze up, we'll see if it saves. When building ships, build yourself. This is what I figured. Where did I leave it? I think I left it over here. Oh yeah, there it is. Build yourself a little trolley-ish style thing. This is how I figured out how to make that little thing. It was doing my head in. Building a ship in space, you can just place it in space and it just floats there. But onto the cockpit. Why I put the cockpit up the top floor here, I do not know. But for the view, I suppose. Let's turn that on. Just so I can access that little. So it's I built myself a little work platform, if you want to call it that. It's a bunch of blocks. I made it look like a T so that it doesn't topple. It's got left to right stabilization with the side pieces and a length stabilization. And then from this, you can build off this to build your thing. So just say like that little buggy. If I go into here and grab my blocks, I can build my thing off this. Excuse me. There is a large version of the block and a small version of the block. This block here is the small version, and that block there is the large version. So if I come over to here, it'll toggle between. Automatically, it'll snap to the kind of block you're looking at. But if you look up, if you go to, I think it's left shoulder? No, right shoulder. There was an option, I think it's left shoulder square? Yeah, left shoulder square. So L1 square will toggle between large and small. And when you've got the left shoulder button L1 pressed, up and down will zoom the block in and out. And then obviously to the left will be mirror, to the right is... I don't know what it is. I think it's changing the placement mode. And then the right button, right shoulder or R1 is camera, visor, headlamp and stuff like that. So on Minecraft, you'd look at the block and you'd go left trigger to place. This one you've got to go right trigger to place. So let's just say if we want to build something like that little buggy, but we want to make it two-seater, we can go... Okay, a little bit of a starter there. Let's go to fly mode. And let's run a... I'm just going to left shoulder and right stick to rotate your character. So if we do that, we can go, okay, we want two-seater, so let's grab some blocks out here. Actually, you know what, let's add an extra one. Actually, I can do that from the ground, it'll be easier. So we can go in by one there. So we can go like that, then we can grab our cockpits, which are there. When you're on the wheel and you've opened it up and it's got all the stuff to the right there, pressing cross will cycle through them. So like we've got rover cockpit, buggy cockpit. So let's choose the buggy cockpit. Right shoulder select. If we then come in, we can go, the red line is the axis. Tapping down changes the axis type, and then left and right on the D-pad to cycle through the positioning. Because you drive on the left, the right hand side of the vehicle, got that, and right trigger to place. Actually, you know what? Let's put the 2 in anyway, and let's go grab some. That's a right hand wheel. That's the big one. Oh no. So if we grab the right hand wheel, which goes on this side. Axis is that way. Then that way. And like that. I couldn't place the wheel because I was in the way, I bet you. Yep, because I was in the way. I've done that wrong. God damn it. Yeah, so rounded part goes to the top. Found that out. So we'll go that way. Like that. Okay, then we want the same wheel, but we want the left, which of course is not going to be there, so that's... Let's look at the ground so we can actually see it. So we want wheel suspension right, so we want wheel suspension left. So it's wheel suspension left, so that's what we want there. One there. Huh? Ah, because it's the wrong way around. Okay, I think that's what's going on. There we go. Okay, so now that I've got the buggy in brackets built, let's give it some quickly. Give it some power. It's gyroscope, not worry about that just yet. That one. Now, if you're building an actual in survival, you'd need to connect it all up and stuff like that. But this is just okay. So there's our buggy. It's all nicely done. Then we just can get rid of that, that, and that. Do the same with the back. We can grab our hand. We can then jump in the buggy. Let's do a view change. And we now have a buggy. That's the way I've been building it. It's the easiest way to do it. So yeah, so the performance is, yeah. So if you're thinking about buying it, and your gameplay is crashing two giant ships together, maybe not, because the performance, the console, is going to go, no thank you, dislike this, I'm out of here, see you later. But if you're like me, and you just want to sit here and build stuff, and up to you. Just be prepared for some crashing and some yeah, it just froze up a little bit, so we'll see the saves. So yeah, it's not a high performance game. It requires high performance, and the consoles aren't necessarily giving that. Okay, it didn't seem to have been saved in the end. So hopefully this video helps with people's like, oh, I want to buy it, I'm thinking about buying it, is it any good, is it worth it, those kind of questions. Performance, question marks. It's so-so. If you adjust all the settings, if you're playing solo, all this sort of stuff, it doesn't seem that bad. But as I was saying, a friend of mine and I were playing, and this save, he was working on that, and I was working on where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. On this, and it crashed. I think me crashing caused him to crash, and then he crashed again trying to rejoin, so he gave up. and a PS5 can't use the PS5 version to join a PS4. You have to get the PS4 version. So I'm assuming it's the same on the Xbox. So you've got to take them into consideration. So hopefully this video does help, like, show off like performance, co-op and stuff like that. Now co-op, I don't know whether the whole server thing that their PC has is coming to console. I cannot tell you for the life of day or night or whatever. I can't say. If they do bring servers and it increases the performance on the low-end console, like the current gens, then it could be a viable option. Like, if I can crash that into that, have debris fly everywhere and not have the PS4 crash, and have the PS5 crash because it's on a server, then it could add a whole lot of value to the game. But if I'm playing an offline or peer-to-peer, which is what this uses, Deep Silver, if I crash that into that right now at high speed and debris goes, the game will probably crash. I say probably because I cannot guarantee it or anything like that. But from all the things that we were doing and when it crashed last time, it's something to do with calculating. So suspension moving, turrets moving, the AI blocks doing stuff, all that sort of stuff, that computing, the consoles struggle with. So if there's too much of it, so any blocks deforming and stuff like that, if there's too much of it, the console's going to go, nope, I'm out of here, see you later. So just be prepared for that. But if you go into it expecting low performance, and you're just coming in to chill, then quite possibly I'd say, yeah, go for it. But again, keep your expectations low. Performance is an issue, but considering this is a PC game that is very high computing, then you kind of expect that. So, I hope this video helps. I'm out of here. Stay safe, and I'll catch you the next one. See you.